with that, we will go ahead and send you guys over to the Jedi Council chambers for your next segment, Master or Apprentice.
Welcome to Master or Apprentice. In this segment, we will be going over your guys' hot takes and decide whether we agree or we disagree with them. You can leave your hot take down in the comments below or in our Discord server, link in the description, and increase odds if you are a channel member. So become a channel member today. All right, let's get into our first hot take today, submitted by Aaron. He said, "The Last Jedi is the best of the sequels." Now, I think there is a movie better than The Last Jedi. I think it is The Force Awakens. That is probably my favorite movie of the sequels, I would say. Um, Mainly because it kind of mirrors Episode 4, and Episode 4 is a solid movie. And The Last Jedi has a lot of let's just call them questionable decisions, I guess. And I don't even. I think I would maybe consider it being better than The Rise of Skywalker, honestly. It does have some high spots with Luke's arc, I think, is pretty good. But in my opinion, I think The Force Awakens is the best, so hand it off to you, see what you gotta say, Logan.
I the thing about the sequels for me is I'm pretty level on all of them. There's not one that I'm like screaming for over the others. Like I'm not actually, I don't even want to say I'm not as high on The Force Awakens. I just don't think The Force Awakens is like far above the others. I think they're all fairly even. I think they all have their highs and lows within them. But I'm not gonna lie. Over time, I have enjoyed a lot more about The Last Jedi. And for that reason, I honestly think I kind of agree with the hot take. I think Luke's arc is amazing. The ending of the movie is just like next level. So love that about it. One thing I've said this plenty of times in the past, and I just always have to bring it up. One thing that I genuinely will always dislike about The Last Jedi is the Yo Mama joke that Poe uses on Hux
I knew
at
you
the
were going to
beginning of
say
the
that.
movie.
I knew
That
you were going to say
is
that.
I mean that's probably my biggest thing with that movie specifically. It is honestly the sequels at large, but The Last Jedi just does it the most is the humor within it. It's just not quite Star Wars humor. It's much more comparable to Marvel humor to me.
100%.
So that is something that just like it just doesn't hit for me.
Mm-hmm.
But they do a lot of other things very Star Wars-esque in The Last Jedi and in the sequels. So they make up for it. Like the whole sequence with Yoda and Yoda talking with Luke in The Last Jedi is like that is basically peak Star Wars to me. So I honestly I kind of agree with Aaron. I could see, like I said, I'm so level with all of them that I could see an argument for all of them being the best out of those three. I think it's the most equal trilogy across all three movies.
100%.
Like I think
no
they're
doubt
all
about it.
pretty even with how they are. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it up to you. I'm gonna agree with it. So this is up to you if you want to grant him the rank of master or not.
Oh man, big decision. I mean, I see what you were saying. I really do, and I do think it is very overhated. Like I don't think it should be as hated as what it actually is,
Mm-hmm.
because it does have those bright spots of like the visuals, like the Holdo maneuver, great visual. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's
great.
Star Wars, you know. Um, but I think, in my opinion, it falls just a tad short to the Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So, Aaron, I'm so sorry. I hate to do this, but I do not grant you the rank of master.
I didn't say it, man. I didn't say it. That's
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 why I
all
said.
on
That's why
Mark.
I said I do not grant you the rank of master.
Yeah.
While I love the hot take, I really do. I think it's a phenomenal one.
Well,
But
technically, we work as a council here,
this
so
is true.
I have to go ahead with you and not grant him the rank of master, but but now we will go ahead and get into our second hot take for this segment. This one is coming in from Woo, and I want to preface this by saying that this was special request, that Mark did not know what this hot take was before saying it in this moment. So this is Mark's first reaction to the hot take. Like I said, this one is coming in from Woo, channel member. Shout out to him. He says, in the Clone Wars, the second battle of Geonosis arc was more impactful than the Umbara arc, which is, to me, probably one of the hottest takes we have ever had on the show. It's kind of crazy because Umbara is definitely seen by, I would say it is a majority seen as the best arc in all of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I would say the majority picks are Umbara or Siege of Mandalore season 7.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are definitely the most picked. So seeing as one of the earliest arcs in the show, this is the near the beginning of season 2. This is very early on Clone Wars.
Wow.
But I do have to hand it to him. It is probably one of the top 2 within early Clone Wars.
Yeah, it has to be.
I think this is where early Clone Wars does actually shine. I think early Clone Wars is not the greatest overall. It doesn't even hold a candle to the later seasons, but specifically the second battle of Geonosis arc is it is on another level compared to the rest of season 1 and season 2. Is it more impactful than Umbara? I don't quite think so. Impactful, in my eyes, means impacting the audience. And hopefully he is meaning it in that sense. The second battle of Geonosis is amazing. Specifically, landing at Point Rain, the first episode in the arc. Probably one of the best episodes of the Clone Wars in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. Seeing Kenobi, they all crash land. Kenobi gets hurt. Waxer and Boyle run out into no man's land just to save Kenobi. They get him back. Kenobi's hurt. They're fighting all in a circle. They're surrounded, and Kenobi at wit's end is standing up and willing to go fight for his clones, injured and all, knowing that he would die. And then that's when the reinforcements come in and everything. But seeing that moment is just one of the more powerful parts of the Clone Wars, specifically because other than Anakin, really the only Jedi you see like really connect with the clones is probably Plo Koon. Others have their moments, like Ayla Secura, Yoda specifically, right at the beginning of the show. They all have their moments. Obviously, Ahsoka Uh, but I think Obi-Wan doesn't show it very often, and seeing it in that moment is amazing. And then just seeing a lot of the interaction between Anakin and Ahsoka in the second episode, Luminara's take on their Anakin and Ahsoka's relationship. You see a lot of how the rest of the Jedi think versus how Anakin does, and it does provide very good discussion within Star Wars, and it is amazing. It truly is. But Umbara is just it's otherworldly. Umbara is either the best or second best. It is not even close in my opinion.
Yeah.
Umbara is impactful for just completely other reasons, just specifically within the clones, and it's one of the arcs where you actually are seeing the human side of the clones. You're really you get really connected with them within that arc. So I don't know. I'm sorry, Wu. I personally can't agree with it. We'll get Mark's thoughts though.
So I think the second battle of Geonosis is very good. I thought it was very interesting too, arc. And it definitely was a bright spot in the early seasons of the Clone Wars. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I started watching it, it was a little slow at first for me.
It definitely does start off slow.
Yeah, but that one really kind of reeled me in because it was one of the ones that stood out to me. But that Umbaran arc is just, it's something else, man. I really have a soft spot for not just the clones, but the relationship that they have with the Jedi, which is why I like Plo Koon, because he treats the clones like humans. Anakin's my favorite character, and he treats the clones like humans, like his best friends, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I really love seeing that bond between the Jedi and the clones, and just the clones like being expanded upon. I mean, before the Clone Wars, you only had like 3 named ones essentially. And this really this is one of the arcs that really shows that the clones really do care about not just the Republic, but the Jedi that they fight alongside, and so do the Jedi. They care. A lot of them care about the clones too. I mean, like you said, Kenobi really doesn't he didn't really talk about it or show it, but in that arc, he showed that he just wanted to fight with the clones, and he was willing to go down with them. So, while I really do love the hot take, I really love the hot take. Me personally, I don't think I can agree with it either. I really have a soft spot for the clones.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm glad to see a hot take like this. This is the type of stuff I want to see.
Same, yeah.
I want to see this crazy outlandish stuff because me and you have some crazy outlandish takes.
Yeah, well, who knows?
I want to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this was a perfect example of it. It provides a good discussion. And we get to talk about 2 of the best arcs in the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
They're both amazing in their own right.
Yep.
But unfortunately, Wu, sorry to say this, but we do not grant you the rank of master. Round of applause for the hot take, though. It really was great.
Great hot
Shout
take.
Out to you, man.
We want to see more like these, that's for sure.
Yes, hopefully we can see more like that.
All right, time to get into the third and final hot take of this video, submitted by Jaden. He said, Qui-Gon Jinn was not a good master to Obi-Wan. Now, this is one that I don't know if I can't agree with it. I just can't.
Just off rip, you just can't.
Yeah, off rip, I can't. I really wish Qui-Gon, every time I see him in episode 1, get defeated by Darth Maul, every time I'm like, dude, why couldn't he just survive this time and train Anakin? Like, everything would have been so different if he would have just trained Anakin. But no, I think Qui-Gon Jinn was a great master. If I had to pick somebody to be my Jedi master, it would probably Qui-Gon Jinn would be in the running for that. Mainly because he didn't like the reason because he wasn't on the council, obviously, because he had some different views from everybody else, and he was a lot more relatable, I guess. He didn't follow the Jedi code like word for word, and he took other things into perspective too, which I think was also like a Count Dooku type of thing. I think he kind of learned some of that from Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally I can't agree with it. I thought Qui-Gon Jinn was actually a really good master, one of the better ones. But I'll see what you got to say about it.
I'm also in the same boat where I just can't agree with it off rip. I just can't. The thing is with me, I would have liked to have this hot take down the road because I have not read the Master and Apprentice book where you actually do see a lot more of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But from what we do see, we see a very little bit of it. We don't see a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
But I think mainly what makes their dynamic maybe seem like it doesn't mesh, I think is more because of Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan,
he's more of a follow the code type of guy.
He's, even though he has a master that he is trying to learn from, he is not taking everything that his master does because he realizes that it's not aligned with what the rest of the Jedi are thinking.
Exactly.
So he's very much a purist about it. But I think deep down he knows that Qui-Gon's right.
Yeah.
But it's just not how the Jedi Order works. So I think it's more of an Obi-Wan thing instead of a Qui-Gon thing.
Yeah.
I think Qui-Gon is closer to what the Jedi should have been like in the first place.
100%.
Instead of how they actually were. So I don't think Qui-Gon's in the wrong. I don't think Obi-Wan's in the wrong either, but that's just why the dynamic may seem like it doesn't work.
Yeah, their personalities are definitely a bit different for sure.
But Qui-Gon as a teacher and a mentor is perfect, I think, for basically anyone. He comes from a ridiculous lineage of masters and apprentices. You go from Yoda to Count Dooku to Qui-Gon to Obi-Wan. Like that's insane.
That's actually insane.
You can't say he's a bad mentor. He's got differing views from the Jedi. It's not like it's the craziest difference, but he's got differing views. He couldn't be on the council, but he's still a Jedi. So it's not like he's that far off.
Yeah.
Not that far off, but yeah, I think he's a great master, and I can't wait to actually read the Master and Apprentice book and get to see more of their relationship. So that's what I've got to say about it. I unfortunately do disagree with it.
Why couldn't Qui-Gon just live, man? Like, he was the perfect master for Anakin when you think about it. He really was.
Hey, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe I don't think he is.
Who knows? But getting back to this one, Jaden, we are so sorry, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
Round of applause for it, though. Round of applause for it.
Love the hot take. Just not quite, man. Not quite. It's been a rough stretch here, but you haven't really been agreeing with too many.
No, not really. But it's yeah. I mean, we could have agreed with one in this one, Mark.
This is true. Personally,
I think it's just a matter of. I think the hot takes are good.
Oh yeah,
I just can't fully agree with it.
Exactly.
I see it. I see the vision.
Yeah,
I see the
for
vision, man.
sure.
Don't
For
get it
sure.
twisted, guys. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
do have good hot takes,
And this is what we
but
want it to be. We want it to be a discussion. We want hear your
yeah,
guys because that's what it is. We want to hear your guys' hot takes. A lot of people have a bunch of different hot takes within the Star Wars universe, and that's kind of why we are doing this segment. So
yeah. It's been a tough stretch, but I can guarantee people will come around with some ones that we really can
yeah.
hitch a ride on. But fortunately, it didn't happen in this one.
Well, this has been Master or Apprentice. If you have a hot take, once again, you can leave it down in the comments below or submit it in our Discord server, link in the description, with increased odds if you are a channel member. And with that being said, we will send it back to the boys at the desk.